All right, I want to welcome everyone to the fifth meeting of the House Standing Committee on Economic Development and Workforce Investment. I want to begin with a few housekeeping measures this morning. I want to ask everyone to please silence their cell phones. Anyone interested in testifying, we do have a sign-in sheet in the back and ask you to use that. If we have a number of folks sign up and we have time constraints here, because our staff does have to move to another committee meeting following this, then I reserve the right to place some restraints on that. As a reminder, no signs are allowed in committee meeting rooms. As we take the roll call, members attending remotely, please indicate whether you're in your annex office or on the Capitol grounds. You can be counted as present and vote on bills. Those members that are not present on the Capitol grounds but may be from their district office, please indicate that, and votes will not be recorded for you on vote on bills. If any members have a question or comment, please signal Janine, Sasha, or if you can get my attention. Members attending remotely that have a question or comment, please send a message in Zoom using the chat function. At this time, I'm going to ask Sasha to please call the roll.
Representative Baker.
Present.
Representative Banta.
Present.
Representative Beckler.
Barely here.
Representative Bojanowski. I'm here. Representative Bray.
Present.
Representative Brown. Representative Callaway.
Present in the room.
Representative Cantrell. Representative Freeland.
Present in the room.
Representative Gentry. Representative Hart. Representative Huff.
Present in the room.
Representative Johnson.
Present in the room.
Representative King.
Present in the room.
Representative Kulkarni. Representative Lawrence.
Present remotely from my district.
Representative Lockett.
Present.
Representative Rowland. Representative Sharp.
Present.
Representative Sheldon. Representative Tackett Lafferty.
Present remotely from my district.
Thank you. Representative Truitt. Representative Elliott.
I'm present.
Chairman Weber.
Present in the room. All right, we do have a quorum and can duly conduct business today. We'll have several bills up here. It appears today might be Jackson Purchase Day for this committee, so we're happy to have several members here from that area. The first bill we're going to deal with is House Bill 659, sponsored by Floor Leader Rudy. Sir, we know who you are, but for the record, please introduce yourself, and after you've done so, you can begin your presentation on House Bill 659.
Stephen Rudy, State Representative, 1st House District, Kentucky General Assembly, Chairman Weber. Ladies and gentlemen of the committee, today I bring before you House Bill 659. It comes in response from action taken the 2021 General Assembly, where we dealt with House Bill 249 and expanded the Kentucky's Historic Preservation Tax Credit Program. We went from $5 million cap on that program to $100 million to really spur that investment. We messed and we changed the overall cap funding last year, but we didn't address the individual properties and individual projects. So we have already banked this $100 million, and this is just going to allow it open up, and it will not have a fiscal impact because of that.
Motion on the bill.
We had a motion by Representative Bray. I did hear a second by Representative Huff. Are there any questions? Being no questions, Sasha, please call the roll.
Representative Baker. Yes. Representative Banta.
Yes.
Representative Beckler.
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Bojanowski.
Yes.
Representative Bray.
Yes.
Representative Brown. Representative Callaway.
Yes.
Representative Cantrell. Representative Elliott.
Aye.
Representative Freeland.
Yes.
Representative Gentry. Representative Hart. Representative Huff.
Yes.
Representative Johnson.
Yes.
Representative King.
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Kulkarni. Representative Lawrence. Representative Lockett,
Yes.
Representative Rowland, Representative Sharp,
Aye.
Representative Sheldon,
Yes.
Representative Tackett Lafferty, Representative Truitt, Chairman Weber.
Yes. House Bill 659 passes with favorable expression. We will have it on the House floor. Thank you.
Is it eligible for consent, sir?
If you bring it back.
Thank you, Chairman and members.
Thank you. Our next bill is House Bill 745, Representative Bowling. Representative Bowling, if you'll introduce yourself for the record and your guest as well. After you've done that, you can go ahead and start your presentation on the bill. We do have a committee sub, so let's adopt that after you introduce yourself.
All right. Thank you, Chairman Weber and committee. Adam Bowling, State Representative, 87th District, Bell and Harlan counties. And with me today, I have
Matt Tackett, and the President and CEO. Thank you, Representative. Matt Tackett, President and CEO of the Kentucky Association for Economic Development.
All those in favor of Representative Bojanowski. We're dealing with the sub right now. All right. All those in favor of the sub, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The sub is adopted. You may proceed, Representative Bowling.
All right. What we're doing today is we are House Bill 745. It codifies the Kentucky Product Development Initiative, and I became interested in this because in the House's proposed budget this year, we set aside $100 million for this initiative. So I reached out to the Kentucky Association of Economic Development, Matt Tackett here, and some others just to learn more about the program. And I learned that the initiative is actually a pilot program created by Kentucky Association of Economic Development 3 years ago with $500,000 of their own funds to help ready Kentucky sites for immediate use. KAED used a third-party site selectors group who's actually, I think, might be joining us today via Zoom. I should have introduced her. Beth, would you like to introduce yourself real quick?
Good morning, everybody. Beth Land here from Site Selection Group, and I'm happy to give an intro on who we are, but I'll take y'all's lead on when that's appropriate. I'm in Greenville, South Carolina.
Thank you. So they worked with Site Selectors Group to create the program selection matrix, and we can talk about that further, as Beth said. The program is a dollar-for-dollar reimbursement match for improving potential public industrial sites to help attract new businesses to the Commonwealth. Grants are awarded based on return on investment scoring matrix that evaluates property availability, property developability, zoning, transportation and utility infrastructure, and other factors such as impact on local communities, workforce, and property competitiveness. The PDI program to date has utilized $8 million in those 3 years in matching grant funds provided through the Cabinet for Economic Development, which were awarded to local public entities. Currently, the funds can only be used for infrastructure extensions or improvements, site preparation work, and road improvements. All oversight applications are reviewed by the Capital Projects and Bond Oversight Committee before final approval. To date, PDI granted sites have landed $600 million in new corporate investment for the Commonwealth and creating 470 great-paying Kentucky jobs. This program is not meant to be a quick fix for nearly complete projects. It is a long-term investment in Kentucky properties to ready them for immediate habitation for companies looking to locate or expand in Kentucky. As I mentioned earlier, House Bill 745 codifies the Kentucky Association of Economic Development housed Kentucky Product Development Initiative into statute. The bill guarantees a strategic and return on investment-based vehicle through which the legislature can appropriate matching grants up to $1 million per project. It allows funding for property acquisition and diligence studies in addition to current eligible uses. House Bill 745 sets up administration of the program through the Cabinet for Economic Development, but KAED, through a third-party consultant, will be responsible for receiving, reviewing, and recommending final grant recipients to the Cabinet for disbursement of grants. This is the current process for the program, and we believe it serves the Commonwealth well.
We have a motion by Representative Bray and a second by Representative Callaway. We do have some questions. Representative Bojanowski.
Okay, thank you. Sounds very interesting. As I read through it, I did have a couple of questions, mostly clarification, if that's okay. So my first one is, are there specific economic development districts? It says on page 1, so it says, like, eligible grant recipient means a grant applicant in a local is a local government or an economic development authority in an economic development district. So do we have specific districts for economic development?
No, this program is for the entire Commonwealth.
Okay.
Yeah, it's for any local government or economic development, I guess, entity within local government in any county in the Commonwealth.
And another brief question, if I may, sir? Okay. On page 6, 3B, it discusses that it's for public developments. So is this program only for public developments? It would not be for private projects?
That's right. Yeah. So an eligible applicant is a public entity. So an eligible site or property is one that is owned by a public entity, a jurisdiction, or an economic development organization.
Okay. If I may. So an economic development organization could then make it available for private entities at that point?
An economic development organization would leverage this program to elevate a locally owned site or building to a state of readiness that we could demonstrate could provide a return on investment if a grant is made, and would make it available for economic development purposes.
Okay. And one more
One more follow-up.
Okay. And then you do declare the return on investment. So there wouldn't be any dollars coming back to the state or to that organization. It would more be the economic development of increased jobs, that sort of thing.
Corporate investment, jobs, and the benefits thereof.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Representative King.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In reading the committee sub last night, I came up with 2 questions. I can make it one if you would prefer on time.
Go ahead and begin with one.
Okay, very good. I am very moved by the compassionate pleas we hear from our friends in Eastern Kentucky and the very small counties that are needing economic development. As far as the match, is that going to preclude or keep any of our smaller counties from being able to participate? How are they going to provide their match?
The grants are up to $1 million, so I understand for some smaller counties this might not be a program where they can come up with that $1 million match, but others can they use basically in kind?
Yeah, so I'd love to speak on that. So thank you for the question. So the match element for us, it generates some local skin in the game. Local commitment builds really great local motivation, and I think commitment specific locally to economic development, which is a good thing. And I think also just as an exercise, preparing for a local match better readies communities, even outside of the product development initiative, with verified financial assets that they know can be put to good use for economic development. So now to your point, I appreciate the question. It's a good one too. So we want to be very flexible so that we can be as inclusive as we need to be for all elements of the Commonwealth with this program specific to the match. So we will accept other grants, we'll accept federal grants, utilities can be of assistance, and there's an engaged series of utilities that are part of this program all across the Commonwealth. So we want to allow for flexibility there, and rigidity around the match isn't something that's part of this program. So we're very flexible. I appreciate your question on that too.
Do you have time for my second, or I can?
Representative King, go with your follow-up.
Okay. Are agriculture, any kind of agriculture products and development able to participate in this program?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Representative Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. One quick question. I heard you mention that one of the things that you can do through this program is property acquisition. So would that basically be providing some funding for local economic development entities? They have a property that is at this point useless. They can purchase it and then go through the upgrades to make it more attractive for development. Is that the idea?
Absolutely, and it's one of the. I'm sorry, Representative. Well, it's one of the issues that we currently have with the program. So just for as well as it's produced, for as well as it's done with a small amount of money and turning that above almost over $500 million worth of investment, we are accessing a small and restricted pool of funds that do not allow for property acquisition in a property development sort of program. So we're so appreciative for Representative and your all's leadership for taking this up, because what we would like to do to really take off in the way that we know that we need to is allow our jurisdictions and EDOs to develop properties and purchase properties.
And I can see follow up real quick. I could see where you local entities would maybe look for blighted properties that are otherwise useless at this point.
And they
I
now
think it's a great idea.
Absolutely, and they now have the ability to do the diligent studies to ID sites that make sense, that ultimately would lead towards property acquisition that you would empower them with the ability to do.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Representative Cantrell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My question is about I like that this is really data-based, and the scoring system and the factors that go into the scoring system that are listed on page 8. Can you talk more about the logistics of that process and how scoring takes place, and then how that's later used to evaluate sites?
Yeah, thank you for that question, because this is a point of pride of the program. This is where you can really feel confident in the integrity. It's also why it has performed with the ROI in the way that it has. So if you'll allow, Chairman, I would love to punt to Beth Land, who is our project manager on this.
Good morning, everybody. So again, I'm Beth Land, and just to zoom out for 2 seconds and let you know who I am, I work for Site Selection Group. We are a location advisory firm. So, our main bread and butter is helping companies choose where to locate, helping them make corporate investment decisions based on a lot of different things like logistics, labor force, and labor, obviously drives a lot of those decisions right now. Cost modeling across various geographies. And obviously there is a huge component of physical site and infrastructure readiness. So just to kind of zoom out a little bit, every day we put together models for all these different types of projects that we're working. Based on those models and based on knowing what companies need and, from an infrastructure, but also from a labor force and a community quality perspective, we've developed some modeling systems that basically show us, okay, a company that needs 3,000 people of highly skilled talent, and is not really concerned about the wage level. They're more focused on just sheer quality. So think of like biopharmaceutical or something like that. Then you have these smaller companies that need only 50 jobs. But are more cost sensitive. So they can operate in markets where, there's not the need for the amount of people. So we have two totally different types of projects here. And obviously, across the Commonwealth, those types of jobs and those types of projects are going to impact different communities differently. So we've developed a model that basically upweights and shows which communities in rural areas, and, to a comment earlier about Eastern Kentucky, we can kind of dial in, which communities show really well for some of those smaller cost sensitive projects where, a smaller project still would have an enormous impact. So we've basically developed a model that looks at total impact and ROI. It looks at relative impact, and relative impact meaning, some of these different types of projects, and also just looking at the community itself, layering it with a lot of workforce data and common sense. And I think that that's important. So we layer a lot of data with a common sense approach and the physical site readiness to kind of find those sites that are going to work, to recruit investment and make those properties more marketable. And we also make recommendations on, okay, here's the community's plan. It's a really good plan, but we would slightly tweak it based on what we know about the market and what we know about what clients want to see in properties and in communities. And if I may, you know, just kind of expanding and leveraging value beyond just the grant dollars. We've seen a huge improvement in communities' submissions on requests for information, on site readiness, on engineering and design. It's really been, you know, kind of across the Commonwealth, raising the bar on just economic development in general. I'll pause there and see if there's any questions.
Did you have a follow-up? Okay, thank you. Representative Lockett.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My question is basically on the third party that we would be contracting with. How is that third party paid out of these funds?
Through my organization. So through KAD, we fund the consultant. We have over 3 years spent about $500,000 of our own investment to stand up this program to get it to the point of readiness that you're now considering, and we're committed to continuing to do that.
Quick follow-up, please. So the pay for the third party is not coming out of the grant, out of the $1 million?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Thank you.
And we're not looking to capture any administrative fees, any subsidies to pay for the consultant at all, because we believe in this and are committed to continuing to do so.
Great. Thank you.
We have any other questions? Before we vote, Representative Bowling, I want to thank you for bringing this. I think that recently we've had some discussions in this body about bringing jobs and job opportunities and businesses to areas of the state that may need that. And I see this bill as being something that does that. And I appreciate your bringing this forward and the discussion that we've had today. I think it's productive and it gives me positive hope.
Well, thank you for hearing it today, Chairman. Appreciate it.
Did you have any last comment?
I know I should shut up, or maybe be quiet, but to Representative Cantrell, one of the things that I really like about this program is the value it brings to local communities who actually go through this process of submitting a site for a grant. Under Section 6, it lays that out. And one of the things that we require is that they provide detailed feedback to all grant applicants after the site evaluation and project score are completed. So Beth talked about that some. She hit it on that. And I just think that's just great value for to help educate some of our areas of, hey, what do we need? What do you need to be looking for in the future? So there's a lot of things I like about this, but that's definitely one of them. So thank you for that question.
All right, we do have a motion and a second on House Bill 745 as amended by Committee Substitute 1. Sasha, please call the roll.
Representative Baker.
Yes.
Representative Banta.
Yes.
Representative Beckler.
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Bojanowski.
Yes.
Representative Bray.
Yes.
Representative Brown. Representative Callaway.
Yes.
Representative Cantrell. Yes. Representative Elliott.
Aye.
Representative Freeland.
Yes.
Representative Gentry. Representative Hart.
I'm a yes vote, and I also like to record present on the roll call.
Representative Huff.
Yes.
Representative Johnson.
Yes, ma'am.
Representative King.
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Kulkarni. Representative Lawrence. Representative Lockett.
Yes.
Representative Rowland. Representative Sharp.
Aye.
Representative Sheldon.
Yes.
Representative Tackett Lafferty. Representative Truitt. Chairman Weber.
Yes. House Bill 745 as amended by Committee Substitute 1 passes with favorable expression. We do have a title amendment. Can I get a motion on the title amendment? Representative Elliott made the motion. All right, I heard several. Representative Lockett stuck it out to me, so Representative Lockett is it. All right. All those in favor of adopting the title amendment say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. Title amendment is adopted. Congratulations, Representative Bowling. Thank you
all. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you all.
Next up is a gentleman who is known by quite a few of us here, my former counterpart and chair of the Economic Development Committee. Senator Carroll, we do miss you in that role. Senator Schroeder is doing quite well, and we enjoy serving with him, but do miss our time serving with you.
Well, Mr. Chairman, it wasn't long after he took that chairmanship that he decided to retire, so I'm not sure about that.
Senator Carroll, I'm going to ask you, and I see Senator Parrott there, who also we represent some of the same area. I'm going to ask each of you at the table to introduce yourselves, and then we do have a committee sub on Senate Bill 94. Let's adopt that, and then you can begin your presentation on the bill with the adopted sub.
Thank you, Chairman Weber. I'm Danny Carroll, the state senator from the 2nd District.
I'm Dennis Parrott, senator from 10th District.
Good morning, Johnny Collette. I'm the Deputy Director for the University of Kentucky's Human Development Institute.
We do have a committee sub for Senate Bill 94. Representative Bray makes a motion. Do I have a second? Representative Freeland. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed, no. The committee sub is adopted to Senate Bill 94. You may begin now, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I think I want to speak to the sub just real quickly on the changes to the bill. It basically, on page 5 at the top, it takes out the line receiving the scholarship for 4 academic terms, and for Work Ready, it's there were limits on the term that scholarship could be received, and at the request of KHEAA, that is being removed, so students will have access to those funds for a longer term, unless obviously they receive a scholarship or obtain their associate's degree. Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, it is an honor to present this bill today. And this is related to a program that we support in our budget each year. It's a growing program in the Commonwealth, and I'm hoping that Mr. Collette gets an opportunity to talk a little bit about the program and how it is expanding, because I think it's important to all of our districts in providing opportunities for students with special needs. And basically, this has to do with the Work Ready Scholarship, and students who are in the Comprehensive Transition and Post-Secondary Program we have, I think, 4 colleges, universities right now that are participating in the program, and others that are about to join the program, hopefully. But basically, the students that come out of high school that have been through have a alternate diploma that Senator Parrott can talk about in just a moment, and come into that CTP program, they have access to Work Ready Scholarship as part of their program, and this just simply adds this population to that the ability to get that scholarship. And understand, these are students that come out of high school, they go into college, they pay their way. And I'm a proud father of a student that is going to be graduating from Murray State University this May that has gone through this program. And I cannot express enough the value of that program and the difference it's made in her life, the academic, the socialization, and the pride that knowing that she is going to graduate from Murray State University. And for me, it's personal to see this program grow throughout the Commonwealth, to allow these students to have the same opportunities that our typically developing students have. And I'm going to ask Senator Parrott to please add a few comments.
Thank you, Senator Carroll. This has been a labor of love for Senator Carroll and I since we've been up here. We both have daughters with I knew I was going to get anyway. I'm going to get. First, I want to thank Senator Carroll for his work on this. We've worked on it for a long time, and the Work Ready Scholarship Program is a wonderful thing. But I'm going to give a commercial. Several years ago, Senator Carroll and I started a Sunny Pages program, and it's designed to bring kids that have intellectual disabilities to become pages. And we did that for a few years, and some of them did it, but that kind of dropped the ball. So we want to get that back started. So because that'd be a wonderful thing for those students that would be able to come up here and be a page. And so don't be just contact any of us and our staffs, and we can get that done. So thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if we might just take a moment so Mr. Collette can explain a little bit about this program. And the growth that we're beginning to see in the program and how the Human Development Institute at UK is overseeing these efforts.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Senator Carroll, and thank you, Mr. Chair, and members of the committee. Comprehensive Transition and Post-Secondary Programs, and we'll just call them CTPs, if that's okay, are higher education programs specifically designed for students with intellectual disabilities. So these are programs that have been through an approval process at the United States Department of Education, and having gone through that approval process allows institutions of higher education to provide access to federal financial aid. So these were created by the Higher Education Opportunity Act back in 2008, and they're designed to provide students with intellectual disabilities an opportunity to continue their education in preparation for competitive integrated employment and independent living. The underrepresentation of students with intellectual disabilities in higher education, I think we all know, is a longstanding and pervasive issue, not only in our state but across the country, and it's one that represents, we think, economic challenge and opportunity for our state. As we look at the most recent data that we have available, we know that only about 6% of students with intellectual disabilities who exit Kentucky high schools are enrolled in a college or university in the year following their exit. So the University of Kentucky Human Development Institute has been the statewide technical assistance center for this work since about 2010. And the dual focus of our work is to, as Senator Carroll mentioned, to work to enhance current programs that we have in the state, but also work with interested colleges and universities to establish new programs. And we certainly appreciate the General Assembly's generous support of this work in the past two budgets. There are currently 3 Kentucky schools, but as Senator Carroll said, we've got more coming on, we think, with active CTPs. Several other colleges and universities are at various levels of interest in terms of establishing a program, and we're working very closely with each of those. If we look at current numbers, we've got 16 students across those programs in the Commonwealth today, and since 2010, those programs have served about 100 students, with nearly 60% of those students completing a CTP program. So maybe an interesting comparison might be to look at the 6-year graduation rate at 4-year public universities. In 2019 and 20 was at about 56%. So it seems like students who engage in these programs persist to completion of the program at a comparable rate. So I think that's an interesting comparison. Finally, as you know, the General Assembly took similar action to what is requested in Senate Bill 94 in 2013 and again in 2016 with respect to the KEYS scholarship and this population of students enrolled in CTPs. And if I might add just in closing here, having had something of a 360 view of disability education and employment policy at the local, state, and federal level, I just have to say, from a personal perspective, how proud I am of our state's work and these gentlemen and certainly others of their colleagues in the General Assembly in removing barriers for this population of students, and incredibly excited about what we'll continue to do in the Commonwealth of Kentucky to improve their academics, their employment, and their community engagement. So thank you very much.
We do have a couple of questions. I think Representative Bray was our motion, and I heard Representative Huff on the second. Before we go to a vote, we do have a couple of questions. Representative King.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you all for being here today. Our guest from UK touched on my question. As I read the committee sub last night, I saw comprehensive transition post-secondary programs referenced throughout the committee sub. So I looked up the only existing KRS that I saw mentioned. Is that term defined somewhere? How will our students know actually what that program means? And the second part of my question is, on that same line, it says affordable access. How are we defining affordable access so as many students as possible will be eligible? Thank you.
Well, I think the affordable access the purpose is to give those students opportunities to all the funding that any other student has. And and I'm hopeful at Murray State that at some point we can begin a scholarship fund specifically at the university for those students coming through. Johnny, you want to address the other part of her question?
Yes, thank you so much for the question. Comprehensive Transition in Post-Secondary Programs is defined in the Higher Education Reauthorization Act from 2008. Happy to send reference to your staff if you like.
And this program was once referred to as the SHEP program. There were federal dollars that came in, and we ended up that once those funds left, the three universities, college universities that still have the program, continued it on and at a reduced capacity. And like Murray State is up to 4 students right now, and I know last week my daughter and my wife met with representatives from Western, and I think they are very interested, and hopefully they'll get their program started soon.
Representative Callaway.
Yes, thank y'all for bringing this today. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to vote on something that helps the youth of our state, and so it's important that we do that. My question, and it's almost completely been answered, but mentioned 3 institutions that were currently involved in this program, and I was just wondering what the other one was.
There is Northern, Murray State, Bluegrass Community Technical, and then we have several that are considering at this point. And I think it's important to remember this is also a workforce issue. As we are at a point where we need all hands on board, and that is the goal of this program. My daughter has started a part-time job. The problem with that is she spends more at the place she works than she makes. But it'll be very instrumental in that area. Most of you all know that I run an Easter Seals affiliate, and we have employment programs there. And so there is a very valid need for our folks, for that population to be part of our workforce as we move forward. And this program facilitates that. And there is a job coaching element and internships and things of that nature. So it is very integral to our future in including this population.
Representative Sharp.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think you just answered my question with Representative Carroll here, or Callaway. But as a father of also a special needs daughter, I'm very anxious to see this program go, and whatever I can do to help, I'm there.
I would encourage each one of you to contact the colleges and universities in your area. It's a great program for the universities, the colleges to promote. It's a great recruiting tool for those programs. And another aspect of it, the students that are at these colleges and universities that are studying special education or various social work, whatever their degree track might be, they actually work with these students. There are girls at Murray State that are in these programs that are with her throughout the day, going from class to class, doing social events. A couple of them have become like part of our family. They work with her in other capacities. So there is so much value to this at so many different levels. And the students that are at the campuses that are in these programs, their programs are enriched by the ability to work hands-on with these students to help them develop through their college career.
We do have a motion and a second on Senate Bill 94 as amended by Committee Substitute 1. Seeing no further questions, Sasha, please call the roll.
Representative Baker.
Yes.
Representative Banta.
Thank you for this. Yes.
Representative Beckler.
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Bojanowski.
I'd like to explain my vote. I'm so thrilled to vote yes for this bill. Individuals with disabilities can be an integral part of our workforce. Individuals along the whole spectrum of disabilities. And I think it takes initiative sometimes for people to understand, maybe what kind of accommodations might have to be put in place to support these individuals. But, I think we as a body need to very intentionally support individuals with disabilities in gaining access to the workforce. Thank you.
Representative Bray.
Yes.
Representative Brown.
Yes.
Representative Callaway.
Yes.
Representative Cantrell. Yes. Representative Elliott.
Aye.
Representative Freeland.
Yes.
Representative Gentry.
Absolutely yes.
Thank you. Representative Hart.
Yes.
Representative Huff.
Yes.
Representative Johnson.
Yes.
Representative King.
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Kulkarni. Representative Lawrence. Representative Lockett,
Yes.
Representative Rowland, Representative Sharp,
Aye.
Representative Sheldon,
And thank you, yes.
Representative Tackett Lafferty, Representative Truitt, Chairman Weber.
Yes. Senate Bill 94 passes with favorable expression and moves to the House floor, Senator. Very good. Senator Carroll is going to remain in place as we discuss Senate Bill 104. Senator, if you'd like to go ahead and begin your discussion on that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senate Bill 104 also addresses those with disabilities within the Commonwealth. And simply what this does is codify the Employment First Council in the Commonwealth. And this council was first established in 2018 under executive order from then Governor Bevin. It was picked up from Governor Beshear. And so our hope now is to codify that. And basically the goal and the purpose of this council, which is also under the Human Development Institute, is to provide employment opportunities for those with disabilities within the Commonwealth. And our hope is to get it codified, and then in sessions to come, maybe put some teeth behind their efforts and further those efforts again into expanding our workforce and allowing this population to become a larger part and allow them opportunities to succeed. John, anything you want to add to that?
Thank you, Senator Carroll. I'll be very brief and happy to respond to any other questions that you may have. But Employment First is about meaningful wages. It's about fair wages and career advancement. Kentucky's Employment First policy, you may remember, grew out of the former Work Matters Task Force work, which looked at improving employment outcomes for key populations, which included people with disabilities. So Employment First as policy in the Commonwealth and the Employment First Council, as Senator Carroll said, have been designated through 2 consecutive executive orders, 2018 and 2020. You may be interested to know that there are currently 23 states with Employment First legislation, including our neighbors in Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, and Virginia. Some of our other neighbors, Tennessee and Missouri, have an Employment First executive order like we do currently. So last summer, the Employment First Council reviewed legislation from other states and then developed and then later shared a list of recommendations regarding potential legislation in Kentucky, and the Council appreciates Senator Carroll including many of those recommendations here. So while the Employment First executive orders, we believe, were significant steps forward in realizing a truly inclusive workforce in Kentucky, to strengthening our economy and to improving the quality of life for citizens with disabilities, the Employment First Council believes that Senate Bill 104 represents a more efficient and more sustainable way forward in terms of increasing meaningful employment opportunities for Kentucky citizens with disabilities. Thank you.
Motion on the bill.
Motion by Representative Bana. I did not catch the second. Representative Bray. He's on a roll today. All right. Do we have any questions for Senator Carroll? Seeing no questions, Sasha, please call the roll.
Representative Baker.
Yes.
Representative Banta.
Yes.
Representative Beckler.
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Bojanowski.
Yes, for all the reasons I said before.
Representative Bray. Yes. Representative Brown.
Yes.
Representative Callaway.
Yes.
Representative Cantrell. Yes. Representative Elliott.
Aye.
Representative Freeland.
Yes.
Representative Gentry.
Absolutely, yes.
Thank you. Representative Hart.
Yes.
Representative Huff.
Yes.
Representative Johnson.
Yes, ma'am.
Representative King.
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Kulkarni. Representative Lawrence. Representative Lockett.
Yes.
Representative Rowland. Representative Sharp.
Aye.
Representative Sheldon.
Yes.
Representative Tackett Lafferty. Representative Truitt. Chairman Weber.
Yes. Senate Bill 104 passes with favorable expression and moves to the House floor. Congratulations, Senator.
Thank you, and thank members of the committee. And before we leave, I would just like to make a comment about Senator Parrott. He has been the inspiration to me when I got here to continue his efforts. And I remember the first day that I arrived, the first person that I sought out was Senator Parrott, and it was to thank him for the legislation that he carried that allowed students with special needs to get alternative high school diplomas. And I think he kind of laid the foundation for where we are right now. And I just want him to know he is going to be badly missed up here. And I hope that the House will soon consider the Sunny Pages program. It was beginning to pick up steam before COVID hit, and it's just a great experience to have these students on the Senate floor. And we will be more than happy, staff in the Senate, to help you all get it set up. It's a model program in the country, and our clerk has been contacted by other legislatures asking about it, and we hope that the House will consider that at some point soon. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee.
Thank you. Before we adjourn, we have some members who missed votes, and I wanted to see if they want to record votes on House Bill 659. Want to see if Representative Cantrell, Brown, Hart, and Gentry would like to record votes on that. So, Representative Cantrell?
Yes, sir. I'd like to record a yes, please.
Representative Brown?
Yes.
Representative Brown, yes. Representative Hart?
Yes.
Representative Gentry?
Yes.
Yes. Then on House Bill 745, we need to see if Representative Brown and Representative Gentry would like to record votes on that. Representative Brown?
Yes.
Representative Gentry?
Yes.
Representative Gentry. Okay, good. Thank you, gentlemen and members, for those votes. At this time, seeing no other business to come before this committee, do I have a motion to adjourn?